obviously. So just sit tight. Hang it out in here with him just to make sure he's okay if he needs to ask any questions or anything. My body camera's on still. That's his bag. Don't let him out. He brought that in here. I know. He took it out of his cruiser.
Have you ever wondered what unfolds when a police officer's judgment is called into question? On the evening of October 27, 2018, around 7:30 p.m., Officer Justin Augustine of the Piqua Police Department in Piqua, Ohio, found himself in a troubling situation. While on duty, Officer Augustine collided with a parked semi-trailer near a local government building, resulting in significant damage to his patrol cruiser's passenger side, including a shattered windshield and door windows. Officer Augustine reported losing control of his vehicle while attempting to park so he could relieve himself beside the building. Lieutenant Rick Byron responded to the scene, where he observed Officer Augustine displaying unusual behavior, dropping a handcuff key and showing signs of impairment, such as emotional interactions with fellow officers. These actions raised serious concerns about Officer Augustine's conduct and the procedures followed during the incident. Have you ever wondered what would happen if an off-duty police officer were in trouble with alcohol? Find out now. You are watching Cops and Consequences. Sign up now to join our community.
Augie. He needs to. Yeah, Augie, come here. Let's go out here in the garage. We got to put your weapons away. Come out here, we'll talk. You'll be all right. The car's just being taken to Lumpkins. We got to put your weapons away.
Okay.
Here, let me have a second, unload it. Here, go in here. So we can put this away. When you total a vehicle, you got to go down for a drug and alcohol assessment. Everybody that wrecks a cruiser that totals it has to go down there. So what we do is just take your taser off of you, and we're going to go down and do a drug and alcohol test down at the hospital, you and I. Are you all right, Augie?
Yeah.
You seem... your focus seems divided on me. What's going on? You just nervous?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you under the influence of anything, Augie?
I'm done.
What's going on, though? Tell me what's going on, bud.
I'm done.
What do you mean you're done? Are you going to go with me to take the test, Augie? You're refusing it? You don't want to do that. Are you under the influence of something, Augie? What's wrong with you right now? I don't understand
I'm
that.
done.
Okay. Are you going with me?
No.
What are you going to do?
I'm going home.
Can you call somebody to come get you?
I don't need to.
Well, I'm not going to let you drive. Seriously, Augie, can you call your wife?
I can drive by.
Okay. All right, let's go out here. If you want to be done, I understand that. So if you want to leave, that's up to you. Do you have your keys here? I'm not taking it, okay? So, Augie, are you okay to drive, brother?
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm worried about you.
Yeah.
All right, well, get going then. Do what you got to do, all right? Augie, you just wrecked a cruiser. It's not the end of the world. I know, it's not the end of the world. We can do this, Augie. If you just go down and take the test like we're asking you, if you do that, then we can at least get that cleared to where you can come back to work. Seriously, Augie, I'm trying to help you, bud. Huh? What'd you say?
No.
What do you mean you're f***ed up? Alcohol? Pills? What are you talking about? Huh? So I can't let you drive home, all right?
Yeah, I can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
You said you're f***ed up. How are you going to drive home?
I'm not f***ed up. I'm f***ed up. I'm f***ed up.
Help me understand, Justin.
What the f***?
You talking about just in the head?
You.
Huh? What have I done to you for you to do me like that, man? Seriously. I didn't wreck the cruiser in there and then have to ask you to come to take the test.
Right there.
I get that. You're having a tough time right now with everything that's going on, bud. But it doesn't have to go out like this, okay? It's just an accident.
But what do I do?
What do you mean, what do you do? What do you do?
If it's just an accident, what do I do?
You hit a semi-trailer, so again, as part of our policy, we have to go down with that and go take the test.
I've been drunk.
Huh?
I'm drunk.
You're drunk right now?
No, I've been drunk.
Been drunk when? Today?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't think you are now?
No.
Officer Augustine acknowledged consuming alcohol earlier that day, but maintained that he was sober at the time of the incident. Under Ohio Revised Code Section 45119, operating a vehicle under the influence, OIBI, is defined as operating any vehicle while under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or a combination of both. Specifically, driving with a blood alcohol concentration, BAC, of 0.08 or higher constitutes an OVI offense, irrespective of the driver's perceived impairment. In the landmark 2023 case of State versus Walker, the 7th District Court of Appeals clarified that probable cause for an OVI arrest does not necessarily require field sobriety tests. The court emphasized that probable cause is a flexible standard based on the totality of circumstances, such as erratic behavior, visible signs of intoxication, and admissions of alcohol consumption. Similarly, the 2010 case of State versus the 7th District Court of Appeals of Ohio demonstrated that multiple factors, including traffic violations, slow responses, bloodshot eyes, alcohol odor, and admissions of drinking, can establish probable cause for an OVI arrest without the need for formal testing. In Officer Augustine's case, multiple indicators pointed towards impairment. Lieutenant Byron's report highlighted Officer Augustine's slow and slurred speech and a noticeable alcohol odor on his breath. These signs, combined with the circumstances of the crash and Augustine's earlier admission of alcohol consumption, would likely provide sufficient probable cause for an OVI arrest, even in the absence of breathalyzer or field sobriety tests.
Do you have your driver's license on you, or is it at home? You don't have it on you? Okay. I got to read the test and refusal consequences to him, so I just need a witness. It says you're now under arrest for OVI, operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol and a drug or a combination of them. If you have a commercial driver's license and refuse to submit to the test or test, you will immediately be placed out of service for 24 hours. You will be disqualified from operating a commercial motor vehicle for a period of not less than 1 year, and you will be required to surrender your commercial driver's license to me. And if you refuse a test, take a chemical test, you will face increased penalties if you subsequently are convicted of the state OVI. Okay, you know how it works. I just need you to sign right there stating that that was read to you. And it is your position that you want to refuse the test, correct? Okay. Let me go fill out the form here. Not going to be any citations issued or anything like that today. We'll just get the form filled out, get you a copy of it, and when your wife gets here, we'll get you out, okay? Or you can leave, obviously. So just sit tight. Hang it out in here with him just to make sure he's okay if he needs to ask any questions or anything. My body camera's on, so that's his bag. Don't let him out. He brought that in here. I know. He took it out of his cruiser. Yeah, I'm in here. I'm just filling out the 2255 form in here because I got all his information. Yeah, I read it to him. He's refusing. So, if it's okay with you, I'm not going to issue a citation right now. I'll write it out later and do what we got to do. Or how do you want that done?
No, we'll treat it like a normal OVI.
Can you go get me a traffic ticket, please?
Does he have his gun on?
I got his gun away from him, his handgun, and he had a taser on him. I took that away from him because he was telling me he was going home.
Okay.
And I told him he wasn't driving.
You respond to 1215
Get his badge and his keys to
apartment number
I can do that. Person's coming in.
To talk to him?
He's probably going to order him to do an admin blood draw after you guys are done.
He's not going to do that.
Well, you know what that means.
Yeah.
Upon learning that Officer Augustine refused to undergo an alcohol test, Lieutenant Byron proceeded to initiate an administrative action, commonly referred to as processing a 2255. This refers to the Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles Form 2255, which documents the suspension of a driver's license following a DUI arrest. Under Ohio Revised Code Section 451.11.191, any individual operating a vehicle is considered to have consented to chemical testing, be it blood, breath, or urine, if arrested for an OVI offense based on probable cause. Furthermore, Section 45,111.192 stipulates that the individual must comply with the chemical test within 2 hours of the request. Failure to comply within this time frame automatically constitutes a refusal to submit to the test. In such cases of refusal, the law mandates that the officer must immediately inform the driver of their license suspension, effective until their initial court appearance, typically within 5 days of arrest or citation issuance. Additionally, the driver is entitled to appeal the suspension either at the initial appearance or within 30 days thereafter. The completion and submission of Form 255 to the Registrar of Motor Vehicles is a critical part of this administrative suspension process. In Officer Augustine's case, his refusal to comply with the chemical alcohol test directly triggered an administrative license suspension as outlined by Ohio law. This action underscores the legal consequences faced by individuals who decline to participate in mandated alcohol testing following an OVI-related arrest.
It doesn't matter, to be honest with you, so let's not fight over it because he was threatening me out there. His behavior was
Oh, really?
Totally insubordinate.
Okay.
Yinks, can you give me the RC sections for the OVI refusal? So it's 45.
1119 A1A.
Do you want me to charge him with reasonable control on private property or just let that go? Is Bruce coming in?
Yes.
So I'll wait to serve all this when he gets here. Probably be better to do it all at once.
Yeah. Because he's not free to leave until Bruce is done.
They're going to order him to take a test, but he can refuse it. He'd just be terminated.
Oh, so here's that. Didn't have a wallet or anything on him? Thank you.
I wasn't getting a lot of cooperation, so I didn't
Alright,
press
we'll
it.
ask him again.
You know, it wasn't like normal when you arrest somebody and
Yeah.
pat them down. So.
As the situation developed, Lieutenant Byron received directive from his superior, Chief Bruce Jameson, to proceed with a blood draw under Ohio Revised Code Section 45111.191. This statute grants law enforcement officers the authority to utilize reasonable measures to compel chemical testing, such as blood tests, if an individual refuses to comply voluntarily. Moreover, the statute provides immunity to officers acting within its provisions from civil or criminal liability related to claims of assault or battery, provided their actions are not malicious or conducted in bad faith. This means that a non-consensual blood draw, when legally justified, is protected from legal repercussions against the officers involved. However, the 2016 Supreme Court case, Birchfield versus North Dakota, introduced significant limitations to this authority. The court ruled that while warrantless breath tests are permissible under the Fourth Amendment, warrantless blood draws are generally not allowed in the context of lawful drunk driving arrests. The rationale is that blood tests are more invasive, requiring the extraction of bodily fluids, and provide law enforcement with more extensive and preservable information than breath tests. Therefore, in Officer Augustine's case, while his refusal to submit to a breath or urine test would typically justify a blood draw, law enforcement would need to secure a warrant to proceed with such an action legally.
Justin, here's Justin, can you look at me, bud? Justin, here's the DMV 2255 form for the refusal. Since we had so much time, I went ahead and wrote the citation out. The citation is going to be for the OVI refusal, and then just reasonable control on private property. So here's your copy of the 2255 form. If you'll just sign right here, get a copy of that. Your wife's still on the way, she's not here yet.
Okay, Justin. That concludes the criminal. Now I'm starting the administrative repercussions. To help you understand, what I'm going to do is assign Deputy Chief Preston as the internal affairs investigator. Right now, you're going to have to make some decisions. I'm ordering you to do testing, and do you understand why I have reasonable suspicion to do that? Okay. You're required to do it, but of course, it's not like we're going to hold you down and make you. So my question to you now is, what you have to do is sign a form at the ER before the testing that you would release the results of the test to the police department, and you would get your own copy as well. If you refuse to sign that form, then that would be considered insubordination and you'd be subject to disciplinary action. It's still your option to do that, and I'd like to know if that's what your intention would be before we brought everyone down to the emergency room. You only have a little bit of time because we're on a 2-hour period that we're trying for. So with all that in mind, would you submit and authorize release of, okay, at the ER? So I'm placing you on administrative leave. Do you want us to try to get an attorney or a union rep? You are saying no to an attorney or a union rep right now? Okay. Okay, so then we'll try to get this done as quickly as we can, get you home, and then you need to start working on stuff, my friend.
Justin, we don't want you falling out of the seat, so that's why he's holding on to your shoulders.
Following Officer Augustine's arrest, authorities discovered a can of 4 Loko in his vehicle at the police station and another at the crash site. Initially placed on paid administrative leave, Augustine resigned on November 1st, 2018, just days after his arrest. Criminal charges against Officer Augustine included operating a vehicle without being in reasonable control, OBI, and improper handling of firearms in a motor vehicle, both of which are felony offenses. On December 5th, 2018, as part of a plea agreement, he pled guilty to lesser charges, having physical control of a vehicle while under the influence and using a weapon while under the influence. His sentence included 1 year of probation with 177 days of suspended jail time, a $300 fine, and court costs. Additionally, he received 3 days of jail time, which were dismissed upon completing a weekend alcohol education program. Officer Augustine was also mandated to continue counseling with the Miami County Recovery Council, undergo a mental health evaluation, and accept a 40-day driver's license suspension. The handling of this case raises questions about departmental procedures and the enforcement of accountability among law enforcement personnel. While Lieutenant Byron took eventual action to suspend Officer Augustine's driving privileges and proceed with arrest, the initial hesitation to act promptly suggests potential flaws in addressing impaired officers. Officer Augustine's conduct, driving while intoxicated, crashing a police cruiser, and attempting to relieve himself unsafely, demonstrates a breach of the professional and ethical standards expected of law enforcement officers. Such behavior not only endangers the officer himself, but also undermines public trust in policing institutions. Ultimately, this case highlights the critical need for consistent enforcement of policies regarding impaired officers and the importance of maintaining integrity within law enforcement agencies. If you found this case as eye-opening as we did, make sure to subscribe to Cops and Consequences and become part of our community. Don't miss out on uncovering more impactful stories and insights into police interactions. Thanks for watching.